Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is TechnoTuner, and today we'll be taking a look at one of my new favorite decks to play for more of a casual starter sort of thing, let alone just a personal project of mine, my Majestic Junk Synchron Stardust deck. This deck is a little bit more fun and casual, but it does access the capability of being slightly roguish due to the Brave engine. Now, you do not have to play the Brave engine. In all honesty, you can run more of this Junk Synchro or the Stardust Synchro support for this deck. I went ahead and made this deck because I know that we're getting a new Yusei structure and wanted to actually improve upon my old build. So, let's go ahead and hop right on in. Alright, to start us off, we have 3 Junk Synchron. When it's normal summon, you can target one level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in defense position, but negates effects. Of course, this is the main Synchron monster that you do play, since it does allow you to recur back materials, so you can go into Junk Speeder, Excel Synchron, Junk Warrior, all kinds of fun things. Next, I play 3 Junk Converter. So if you have this card and another monster that is a Synchron tuner, but you don't want to have it in your hand, example, Wheel Synchron, you can discard this card and that tuner, add 1 Synchron monster from your deck to your hand, and if this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, you can target 1 tuner in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but it cannot activate its effects for the rest of this turn. Going into more of the Stardust stuff, I do play 2 Stardust Trail. If you control a monster, if a monster you control is tributed, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. If a Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust Synchro monster is Synchro summoned using this card as material, you can special summon 1 Stardust token. That's a level 1 token, which can help you get into your formula plays. Next, I do play 2 Stardust Synchron. This card's very beneficial. It lets you trigger off the effect of the Stardust Trail so as to let you get it to summon. Stardust Synchron is actually pretty great because when it is special summon, you can add 1 spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Stardust Dragon in its text. It's also very easy to summon because if it's in your hand or graveyard, you can tribute a monster and special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, you cannot special summon anything outside of Synchro monsters, but this deck is purely Synchro. Up next, I do play the 2 Jet Synchron. It's once again, you can discard or send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon it, but banish this card when it leaves the field. When this card is sent to the graveyard as a Synchro material, you can add 1 Junk monster, so it lets you get into your Junk Synchron or Junk Converter pretty easily to continue your combo. Next, I do play the 2 Stardust Worm. This card is in your hand. You control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster. You can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You contribute this card, special summon up to 2 Light Dragon monsters from your hand and or graveyard, except Stardust Worm, but their effects cannot be activated. So it's a great way of getting into, say, Stardust Xylong or Converging Will's Dragon. It's actually very beneficial in helping you get to that Majestic Star play. Next, for the one-ofs, I do play 1 Assault Synchron, 1 Shining Star Dragon, 1 Revolution Synchron, 1 Wheel Synchron, 1 Stardust Xylong, and 1 Converging Will's Dragon. Assault Synchron's very great because he's a free special summon, but you do take 700 damage. However, he does lock you into Synchro monsters from the extra deck while he's face up on the board. If a face-up Dragon Synchro monster you control is tributed and or banished, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one of those monsters, and special summon it. So it's a great way to get your Stardust back onto the board. I do play the 1 Shining Star Dragon, as it's a great way to just keep going up. So if you have Stardust Dragon and you want to go into Crimson Dragon, you can use this. During your opponent's main phase, this card is in your hand. You can target 1 Dragon Synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon this card, and if you do, special summon that monster but negates effects. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can Synchro summon 1 Dragon Synchro monster using this card you control. You can only use Shining Star Dragon once per turn. A dragon monster that was Synchro summoned using this card cannot be destroyed by battle, which is very beneficial. Revolution Synchron is very helpful in this case because If you are synchro summoning a power tool or a level 7 or 8 dragon monster, and this card's in your hand, it can be used as material. So, if you're stuck with, say, Stardust Trail and Stardust Worm, but you have no way of going up the board, you can use Revolution Synchron to continue up. If you control level 7 or higher, synchro monster while this card is in your graveyard, send the top card of your deck. If you do, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. Also, its level becomes 1, which is a very good once per duel effect because it lets you just continue on. Then we do have the Wheel Synchron, where if this card is on the field during your main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 level 4 or lower monster. You also cannot special summon for the rest from the extra deck the rest of the turn except synchro monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 synchro monster you control, reduce its level by 4, which can help if you want to go into certain plays. Then we do have the Stardust Xylong, which is you can special summon this card from your graveyard in attack position when you synchro summon Stardust Dragon. Each turn, the first time this card would be destroyed by battle is not destroyed. Next, I do play the 1 Converging Wheels Dragon because it's a good replacement for Majestic Dragon, as this card's name becomes Majestic Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it from your hand, and if you control a level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon 1 level 1 Dragon monster from your deck, which can get you into Stardust Worm, which is very beneficial to continue on your plays. Alright, aside from the Brave package, that is all the main deck monsters that we do play. For the spells, though, for the Synchron stuff, we do play 3 Tuning. This card's very beneficial and necessary in the deck, as it does add you your Synchron Tuner from your deck to your hand, then gives you the capability of reviving a level 2 or lower monster, because it forces you to send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Next, I do play the 2 On Your Mark, Get Set Duel. When this card is activated and you control no other cards, you can add 1 Synchron monster from your deck to your hand, so that gets you access to Junk, Synchron, Jet Synchron, Assault Synchron, any of them. Once per turn during your standby phase, place 1 signal counter on this card. You can remove 2 signal counters from this card and send this face-up card to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, and send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. So basically, it's a worse off Pot of Greed, but it does help us in the later game. Next, I do play 2 Synchro Overtake. This allows you to reveal 1 Synchro monster in your extra deck, choose one of the Synchro monsters that's listed on that card, and add it to your hand, or special summon that monster from your deck or graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters except Synchro monsters for the rest of the turn. It's very beneficial because it lets you get Junk Synchron out if you really do need that card. Next, I do play the 2 Stardust Illumination because it lets you send a Stardust monster from deck to graveyard. So it lets you send your Stardust Synchron or your Stardust Trail or your Stardust Worm. But if you do control a Stardust monster, you can special summon it instead, which is very beneficial as well. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Stardust monster you control, increase or decrease its level by 1 until the end of this turn. So it lets you do some level modulation in case you need help getting into that Majestic Star Dragon line. Next, I do play the 2 Arrive in Light. Yes, this is debatable. It can be put at 1, but I do like running it at 2 because of the spell and trap removal that I see at my locals. When this card is activated, place 1 level 1 dragon monster from your hand or deck on top of the deck. Neither player can return Stardust Dragon or a Synchro monster that lists Stardust Dragon's text from your field to the extra deck. If a Synchro monster is special summoned to the field from the extra deck, if a Synchro monster is special summoned except during the damage step, you can apply one of these effects, but you cannot apply the same effect in Arrive the Light again this turn. So when you special summon a Synchro monster or Synchro summon a monster, you can then draw 1 card or special summon 1 tuner from hand. It's a great way of just continuing up into your actual bigger Synchros. Next, I do play the 1-for-1. The 1-1-for-1. Because, well, you do have level 1s. They're great targets. It's an easy way to get into Jet Synchron and get other things into the graveyard in case you want to get Junk Synchron online. I do play 1 Synchro Chase Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activations of your synchro monsters with Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust in their original names. If you synchro summon a Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust synchro monster, target one monster in your graveyard that was used as material and special summon it in defense position. So, once again, helps you climb. Then I do play the one Synchro Rumble. You can target one tuner or a level 7 or 8 dragon synchro monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, also for the rest of the turn. You cannot special summon monsters except synchro monsters from the extra deck. If a level 7 or 8 synchro monster or a Crimson Dragon you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So it's a great way of just keeping things on board or monster reborning monsters from your graveyard back onto the board. Aside from the traps, our Brave engine is pretty simple. It's 3 Rite of Armaseer, which is our token maker. The 3 Enchantress, which gets us our Rite of Armaseer. The 1 Wandering Griffin Rider, which is basically our way to protect us against Nibiru or any other cards, specifically any other cards that basically are troublesome to us. The 1 Fateful Adventure and the 1 Dracoback the Rideable Dragon as capabilities of just searching, discarding, and then moving through more of the actual Brave package. Finally, for the traps, I do play 1 Majestic Mirage and 1 Stardust Mirage. If you control level 8 or higher Dragon Synchro monster, you can special summon as many monsters as possible from your graveyard that were destroyed and sent to the graveyard by battle or opponent's card effect this turn. So if you have Stardust, Dragon, and say a couple Warriors on the board, you can literally use Stardust Mirage to recur them back before Stardust Dragon is destroyed or an attack is declared, which can help you out in the longer game. Majestic Mirage, if a face-up card you control leaves the field by your card effect or to activate the effect of your card, and the effect is the card that left the field with Stardust Dragon or a Synchro monster that lists as Stardust Dragon as text, you can apply one of the following effects, but cannot apply the same effect of Majestic Mirage again this turn. You can special summon one of those monsters, banish one monster from your opponent's field and or grave. Any damage you take this turn is halved, so it can be very beneficial in keeping you alive, let alone recurring back and Omni-Negate. It's very helpful either way. On to the extra. I do play the 1 Formula Synchron because there's been cases where I do draw and have to establish a board with Stardust Worm and Jet Synchron on the same board, and they're stuck at the end piece. Formula Synchron lets you draw 1 additional card so you can potentially draw an out or an extender. Also, it allows you to quick synchro during your opponent's turn. Next, I do play the 1 Junk Warrior as a target for Junk Synchron. I play the 1 Excel Synchron, which lets you send a card from your deck to the graveyard that's a Synchron to modulate its level to match. 1 Jet Warrior to bounce any troublesome cards. The 1 Junk Speeder, so I can get as many of the Synchrons that I need on the board, just to basically continuously build my board. The 1 Stardust Charge Warrior. This one's just a good way to draw a card, and then it can attack all special summon monsters you control or your opponent controls at least once per turn. I do play 2 Excel Stardust Synchro Dragon, or Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. It lets you recur a level 2 or lower tuner monster from your graveyard when it's synchro summon, and then during the main phase you contribute this card, special summon Stardust Dragon, and it's treated as a synchro summon, which allows you to trigger some effects of your other card effects. And then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using monsters you control as material. For the rest of the turn, the monsters synchro summoned by this effect are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, which is very beneficial. Of course, in a Stardust deck, I do have to at least play the 1 Stardust Dragon. Wouldn't feel right anyways if I didn't. Then I play the OG Shooting Star Dragon. Once per turn, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, shuffle them back into the deck. Also, this card's maximum number of attacks per battle phase equals the number of tuner monsters excavated. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card on the field, quick effect, you can negate the effect. If you do, destroy it. Once per turn, when your opponent's monster declares attack, you can target the attacking monster, banish this card, and if you do, negate the attack. During the next end phase, special summon this card, banished by this effect. Yeah, it does have a bit of a cooldown time to come back, but it is a 3300 beater that lets you negate a potential fatal attack. I do play the Stardust Warrior. During either player's turn, if you would special summon a monster, during your opponent's turn, or either player's turn. If your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, you contribute this card, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy all monsters that were going to be part of that summon. During the end phase, if this effect was activated this turn and was not negated, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this face-up card you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, special summon one level 8 or lower warrior synchro monster from your extra deck. It's treated as a synchro summon. So this lets you go into Jet to bounce something back. It can let you go into Junk if you have a bunch of level 2s on board to make him big. It's a lot of capability in that play. Now for the big boys, I do play one shooting Majestic Star Dragon. Must be first synchro summon. Once per turn, you can negate the effects of one effect monster your opponent controls. This card gains an additional attack each battle phase for every monster in your graveyard that is Stardust or is a synchro monster with Stardust Dragon in its text. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can banish this card until the end phase. If you do, negate the activation and then banish that card. I do play the one Cosmic Blazar Dragon. It must be synchro summoned first, or just in general. You can banish this card until the end phase to activate these effects. When your opponent activates a card or effect, negate the activation. And if you do, destroy that card. When your opponent would summon a monster or monsters, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy those monsters or monster. When an opponent's monster declares a attack, negate the attack and end the battle phase. Which is pretty beneficial. Then there is Shooting Quasar Dragon. Must be synchro summoned, cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's maximum number of attacks per battle phase equals the number of non-tuner monsters used as its synchro material. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. When this card leaves the field, you can special summon one Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. So if you have the capability of getting Crimson Dragon on the board, you target Blazar, you can get out Quasar, and if Quasar leaves the field, you get a free Shooting Star Dragon, which can help you out. Then there's Crimson Dragon. I think everyone knows, but in case you don't know what Crimson Dragon does, if this card is special summoned, you can add one spell or trap that mentions Crimson Dragon from your deck to your hand. You can target one level 7 or 8 higher synchro monster on the field, except Crimson Dragon. Return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon one Dragon Synchro from your extra deck with the same level as the targeted monster. This is treated as a synchro summon. You can only use each effect of Crimson Dragon once per turn. I have had the case of where I've gotten Shooting Star Dragon on the board, Stardust Warrior on the board, use Crimson Dragon to get Shooting Star Dragon on the board, synchro off the Majestic Dragon, and the Shooting Star Dragon to go into the Majestic Shooting Star Dragon. The Shooting Majestic Star Dragon. It's just a great way to basically build your board more, especially if you have the Brave engine in there. You do have a lot of interaction capability to beat over, but you also have those ways to set up negates, which can help your board stay alive for a lot longer. Now, do take this as a grain of salt. You can edit in any way, shape, or form you would like. I've seen where people cut Formula Synchron to run 2 junk speeders instead of just the 1. I've seen where they've cut it to run a TG Hyper Librarian. I've seen where they don't even run the Crimson Dragon. They just run each of the Stardust Synchros. There's a lot of stuff that you can do and modulate with this deck to make it fit your own kind of playstyle. However, I hope you enjoyed today's take on my version of the Majestic Star or Shooting Star Synchron deck. If you did, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to have some more content out eventually, and I always do check my comments and try to reply back as I can. I do take all comments into consideration for future videos and content as well. Anyways, until next time, guys, have a good one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?